Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. FanDuel's odds, Michael Penix is the favorite at plus 140. Bo Nix is second at plus 200. J.J. McCarthy is third at plus 800. He joins Jordan Travis there. Carson Beck is plus 1,200. Marvin Harrison Jr. plus 1,600. Jayden Daniels isn't even on the board on the FanDuel that I saw. Now, I went to a different site, saw Penix at plus 140, Nix at plus 210, Jayden Daniels in third at plus 350, in front of McCarthy at plus 650, Travis at plus 850, and Beck at plus 1,400. So, right now, Michael Penix is the favorite everywhere. Michael Penix has had a phenomenal year. He's completing 69% of his passes. He's thrown for 3,200 yards, which leads the country. He's thrown 26 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He's been great this year. No question about it. And in the biggest spot for Washington against Oregon, he had a monster game. Now, he threw in a couple that were not as awesome after that. Turned the ball over too many times. He's got 7 picks on the year, which leads any of the quarterbacks that I was mentioning there in the favorites. But they're undefeated. And that's what's very important in this voting now. Got to win games. And then there's something to be said for that, certainly. You're out there to win. But I think you could argue that it's not Jayden Daniels' fault that LSU has 3 losses. Look at Jayden Daniels' stat line in one of the losses. They lost to Ole Miss. He went 27 of 36 for 414 yards and 4 touchdowns and no interception in that game. And oh, by the way, he ran for 99 yards and a touchdown. He accounted in that game that LSU lost, which is a big deal, obviously. He went for 513 yards and 5 touchdowns. Michael Penix does not have a game this year where he went for 513 yards. But we're holding the losses against Jayden Daniels. Penix has only put up 5 touchdowns once. It was the opener against Boise State. Daniels did it in the game LSU lost in Oxford. So, forgive me for not throwing Jayden Daniels completely out of the Heisman race because they hung 50 on Ole Miss and lost, and he got knocked out of the Alabama game after carving them up unlike anybody has done all year. Yours was pretty good. Allow me to just use some hyperbole. It's tough for me to sit here and go, yeah, we'll have 3 losses. He's out of it. Why? He's the best player. Look at the statistics. Jayden Daniels completing 72% of his throws. That's 8% more than Jordan Travis. It's 3% more than Michael Penix. Not as good as McCarthy or Nix, but completion percentage, not that big a deal. It's just one of the statistics. In terms of passing yards, Jayden Daniels has been awesome, obviously. He's thrown for 2792. That's 400 or so yards behind Michael Penix. But Jayden Daniels leads the country in touchdown passes with 27, and he's only thrown 4 picks. Penix has thrown 7. The separator here is not the completion percentage. It's not the yards where Daniels has 600 more than McCarthy, and he's got 70 more than Nix, and he's got 300 more than Travis, and he's got 80 more than Beck. He's behind Penix, but that's not the separator here. It's not the touchdowns where Daniels has 27, which is the most, but Penix has 26, and Nix has 25, and he's been awesome. It's not the interceptions. Daniels has 4. Penix has 7. Nix has 2. That's not the separator here either. The separator here is pretty simple. Penix has negative 13 rushing yards this year. Negative 13. I'm counting sacks. Bo Nix has 116 rushing yards this year. J.J. McCarthy has 137 rushing yards this year. Jordan Travis, 190 rushing yards this year. Carson Beck, 70 rushing yards this year. Jayden Daniels, 684 rushing yards. You could pull all these guys up, and they're just north of half of what he's got. It's total offense, where Jayden Daniels leads the country significantly. He's 32 yards per game north of Michael Penix in terms of yards per game. And he's accounted for more touchdowns. Jayden Daniels is accounted for 33. Michael Penix is accounted for 27. The only differentiator here that is moving the needle is the wins and losses. Penix played like garbage in the game 2 weeks ago, but they won. So leave the odds where it is. Daniels played sensationally in 2 of the 3 losses, but he gets hurt. Not literally, he literally got hurt, but he gets hurt in the Heisman Bowl because his defense is atrocious. Now, I'm not going to fully dismiss the second half of the Florida State game, but if we want to go back and look at it, Malik Neighbors fell down once and Kyron Lacey dropped one, and those are 2 of the 3 drives LSU got stopped on. I'm in Baton Rouge. I'm an LSU alum. I work for the LSU Sports Radio Network. I bleed purple and gold. This is the guy that I would like to win the Heisman Trophy, Jayden Daniels. That should come as no surprise. I have inherent bias in that way. But I think any 2 reasonable college football fans that came together and discussed this Heisman race would have to include Jayden Daniels right in the middle of it and may have to favor him. I thought Nix was really good in the game they lost to Washington, and his statistics are almost as good as Penix's. He's completing a higher percent of his throws. He's behind by about 500 yards in terms of passing yards, but he's accounted for more touchdowns and more rushing yards, and he's turned it over fewer times. But he wasn't quite as good that Saturday in Seattle, so I got it. I don't want to sound like I'm dismissing Michael Penix's entire season. I'm not. I'm more so dismissing the notion that because one guy's team's undefeated and the other guy's team's got 3 losses, mean we have to heavily shift towards that guy. I just don't see it that way. And we'll see what the next 5 days hold. Because if Jayden Daniels can't play against Florida, and then he's got Georgia State, and then all of a sudden you've lost a game of production, your statistics may not look as good against the guys that are rolling up stats this week, and it'll get away. And I think Jayden Daniels, if he doesn't play, may find himself out of New York altogether. We saw that with Hendon Hooker last year at about basically this point in the schedule. Hendon Hooker was right there in the mix. Didn't play great against Georgia, so probably was not the favorite. But he would have gotten an invite to New York if he was able to finish the season. And the fact that he couldn't took that away from him. And that's probably wrong, too. But Jayden Daniels has been the best player in college football this year, in my estimation, my subjective opinion, and deserves any national award that comes his way. It would not surprise me at all if the end result of this was Jayden Daniels playing excellent the last 3 weeks, Michael Penix playing excellent the last 3 weeks, Washington winning the Pac-12, and Michael Penix wins the Heisman Trophy. Jayden Daniels gets an invite to New York and wins the Maxwell or the Davey O'Brien or whichever quarterback award you want to give. That wouldn't surprise me at all. It happens all the time. But I believe he should still be firmly in the mix for the Heisman Trophy because everyone knows that the reason that he's fallen back out of the favorite lead is because they've got 3 losses. And everyone also knows that he played incredible football in 2 of the 3 losses. Incredible. So I'm hopeful that this works itself out over the last couple of weeks and that Jayden is recognized the way that he should be because he's been just incredible. And it'll be really unfortunate if this injury and concussion knocks him completely out of this whole deal. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.